I just watched a video by Sargon saying that he hates the bourgeoisie, and James Lindsay on Twitter was like, see, he is a communist. He is a communist because he hates the bourgeoisie. All other ideologies, they love the bourgeoisie, but not the communists. And so I watched the video trying to understand what Sargon means by this. Because in my opinion, I'm the bourgeoisie. And Sargon is also the bourgeoisie. I mean, he has a business. He makes more money than probably all of us. And so to say that, well, I'm not like the other girls. Like, I'm not the bourgeoisie. Okay, no. We're all the bourgeoisie. But why exactly does he hate them and how does he define them? This is what I wanted to see. And basically he says that there is a difference between the aristocrats, the working class, and the bourgeoisie. The aristocrats, because they're born in privilege, they can afford to say whatever they want. So because they're the son of such and such lord, nothing they say makes them lose their status. And so the aristocrat remains an aristocrat, whatever he says, and therefore he's a lot more free to speak his mind. The working class, they do things that the bourgeoisie don't want to do. They build things, they're plumbers, they're the garbage collectors, and so they're indispensable, and people can't afford to just fire them because they say dumb shit. So it's kind of expected for them to say dumb shit. Meanwhile, the bourgeoisie is somewhere in the middle. They're neither working class nor they're aristocrat. So they have a lifestyle that's far above that of the working class. Like, they can afford to go on vacations, they can afford to have any type of healthcare they want. They're not as powerful as the aristocrats, they're not as rich, but they're definitely extremely well off. And so for them, there are two possibilities. Like, number one is that through their wealth, they can have the same lifestyle as an aristocrat if they get lucky. So, like, there's always a possibility of climbing up that ladder, of becoming the CEO of a company, right? But there's also, like, a bigger danger of falling off the ladder. There's also a bigger danger of stop being a bourgeoisie and being a working class. And so, for them, reputation is the most important thing imaginable. For them, maintaining good standing and cohesion with the other bourgeoisie is paramount to their survival. And so, because of this, most bourgeoisie people, they don't really care if 2 plus 2 equals 4. If it's required to say that 2 plus 2 equals 6 in order to maintain good standing, they will say it's 6, not because they believe it, but because they don't want to upset anyone else. And so this is what Sargon dislikes, right? Like, he dislikes the bourgeoisie because the current culture, the current meta, is to believe in things that make a person harmless, right? Like the corporate soy boy that drinks his latte at a Starbucks with a laptop in front of him. The entire worldview that he has, the entire view about gender, about masculinity, about a nation, about everything, is to become as harmless as possible and to do everything you're told. And so if you're told that the government has to give you a digital ID and it has to supervise everything on your computer, then you're going to comply because you're going to think, well, I'm already harmless. Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm always paying my taxes on time. I'm always, I'm never hate speaking online. I'm never doing this and that. And so it's perfectly acceptable for me to do that. And they were going to promote that to other people. They're going to say, no, actually, it's a great thing that the government wants to put digital ID because, and then they parrot the exact government line. And these are the people that Sargon dislikes. Now, this is the perfect example, right? It's from a news article that came out years ago. I'm actually surprised that Sargon doesn't remember it, but it shocked the internet at the time. Because here you have a Norwegian politician, according to the Daily Mail, which was raped by an asylum seeker. And then he felt guilty that his attacker will now be deported because the man will suffer in Somalia, right? And there were other activists that went through the exact same thing. And more importantly, you also got to see parents of the victims of children that died in terrorist attacks. And then the parent would go in front of the media and they would say something like, If my son was alive, he would forgive his attackers. Like, now is not the time for rage. I forgive the guy that did it, blah, 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 right? You guys remember that. And everyone was shocked, that they were bewildered, because, like, people were thinking, like, well, if that happened to my kid, like, forgiveness would be the last thing on my mind. And it's not the type of forgiveness that the wife of Charlie Kirk said. It's like, okay, I'm not going to allow the killer to live rent-free in my head and I'm moving on. No, it was like the kind of forgiveness, like almost begging the authorities not to do anything, right? Like, don't do anything, leave the situation the way it is. Just, if another attack happens, we do the same, okay? And so, that's like the bourgeois mentality that Sargon is talking about. Now, if you actually look at what's going on, like this guy, for instance, right? I don't believe what he is saying. Why? Well, if he genuinely didn't want the guy deported to Somalia, he wouldn't have reported the incident, right? And so, because he reported, obviously, he didn't enjoy it, right? Like, obviously, he thought it's a crime and he felt violated. So that's why he went to the cops. And the reason he went to the cops is because he wanted justice to be done. Like, he wanted that person to suffer. However, he was in a left-leaning political clique, right? And so in order to be able to go there and still be invited to dinners and still have people associate with him, he has to speak the speech. It's not the actions of what he does. It doesn't matter what he does. It's like what he actually says. And if he says the correct things, then everyone is going to shake his hand and be like, okay, you're good, you're one of us. And he's accepted in the group. He's accepted in the collective, right? And the same thing with the parents that had kids that were victims of terrorist attacks. Like, they would go in front of the cameras and they would say the correct things. Like, number one, so they don't get ruined by the politicians, by the mob, by anyone else. There is a chance, my Eastern European cynical brain is telling me that maybe they got bought off, like some government entity or NGO actually paid them. Or number three, he said they said those things in order to still be invited to their dinners and to their friends and stuff. The only thing that I disagree, and this is where I have a contention with what Sargon is saying. He's saying that these people don't stand for anything. No, they absolutely stand for something. They stand for their lifestyle. They stand for the grift. They stand to make money, and they stand for their families. Like think about it this way, right? If you are a person that's employed at the NHS, and you're a doctor, you're prestigious, you're saving lives, obviously, like, you want more patients, right? More patients means higher prices. Higher prices means that you get paid more. And so you also support the people that put you there. The people that hired you and the people on top of them, like the bastards behind the bastards. And so, like, you support the system. You're vested into the system because the system provides for you. It's not a moral issue. It's a financial issue, right? And so I gave an example of the NHS, but there's, like, a lot of people, like, in the United States with USAID. Like, there were a lot of people, journalists, activists, NGOs, that require that USAID money in order to have a decent lifestyle and provide for their families. And so they don't care if the government does evil. In fact, they may know that it's evil, but they're making money from it, right? And so, like, they do stand for something. They stand for the system to continue. And the idea that these people are peaceful and they never fight for something. I have seen these people cancel others, ruin lives, destroy businesses. That they're not harmless at all, like they're very effective at what they do. So that's why I only disagree with Sargon. Now, I'm sure, like, some of them, the normies, I guess, may actually be the way he described them. Like, there are normies out there that, they don't want to cause any trouble, they don't want to cause a stir, and they will say whatever needs to be said. Sure, like, those people exist. But then there are the malicious ones that understand the system, understand the harm that is doing, but they think like this. They think, okay, I already have some money set aside. If things go bad, I'm just leaving the country. Or if things go bad, I'm just moving to a rural area. And by the time shit kicks the fan, I'll already be old and I don't care. And so, like, they just want to make money. And I noticed that a lot of people in the Anglosphere, like, they just don't understand the mentality of the person that just wants to make money. Like, they don't care. And the important thing to understand that these people exist is that nagging and moral values do not affect them. Like, they genuinely do not care what other people think of them, because from their point of view, it's like, okay, I got money, I can hire lawyers, I can build a wall around my house. You don't have that. I can sue you and I can ruin you. And so, like, you have nothing that I want. You know, you come here moralizing at me, but, like, it's just words. You can't do anything, right? And so, until you understand that these people exist and they're actually vested into maintaining the status quo, you're not going to be able to change the system just by moralizing to them. The only way to change the system is to have more money than them and buy them off. It's pretty much what the left did, right? Like, when the left went through the academias, when they then started to go through institutions, they started buying things off. Look at TikTok. Perfect example, right? Like, TikTok was operating up until last month, posting anti-Semitic shit. A Jewish investor buys it. All of a sudden, emojis get banned, terms of service get changed, rules get applied differently, right? Complete sweep. Elon Musk buys Twitter. All of a sudden, complete sweep. You need to have money. Like if you want to change something in a nation, simply using moral arguments is not enough. It is important, but it's not enough. You need to have cash. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.